So now that we've got the title block, sorry, now that we've got the border done, we're going to actually work on the title block. So just bring the notes on screen. So you have these on Brightspace. So what we're going to do next is going to draw this little title block here. So this is where we're going to put the name, title, drawing, date. So we're going to draw it's just a set of rectangles. So we're going to draw this first of all. Then the next step, we're going to put in some construction lines so we can align the text nice and neatly. And then we're going to just convert it to a block. Same thing what we did with with the border. And then we're going to just add some attributes, a little bit of extra stuff just so we can get all this extra information. But again, if you can follow along, either with the notes or the video. So first thing we're going to do is we'll just start drawing the title block itself. So you're going to make sure you're on layer 0, which we are. And then I'm going to bring up the rectangle command. And then you can click anywhere. It's asking to specify the first point, so just click anywhere on the screen. So first of all, we know the dimensions based off the drawing, so just press D on the keyboard to bring up the dimensions option. So now it's asking us to specify the length of the rectangle. And based off the notes, the Word document, it's going to be 111. Am I correct? Yes, I am. So 111 wide, and it's going to be 24 high. So we should get a rectangle look like this. So just click into space there. Now we just need to divide it up into the different sections. So what we have, okay, so let's bring up the line command. Actually, what we can do for this one, no, we'll use the line command for the moment. So we need to first of all, actually what I might do just for while you're watching the video, I can bring the image in on screen so you can see. You don't have to do this yourself, but there we go. Yeah, if you want to do what I just did there, basically just clicked on the image in Microsoft Word, press Ctrl C, brought it into AutoCAD and press Ctrl V. That's able to copy and paste stuff in. So luckily, sometimes you might have to resize it, but this time we didn't. So now we're doing up here on screen. So we'll draw this side here at first. So kind of 4 sections. Each section is 6 units long. So and we've got 40 units going across this way. So I'll just make the mark for the 40 units. So what I'm doing here is just going to start, it's almost going to be drawing over the rectangle. So I'm going to draw a line down like this over the rectangle that's currently there, and just hit enter just to end the command. And now when you hover over the rectangle, you'll see that there's actually a single line there. So then we must bring up the move command, and again specify our base point. It's going to click the bottom left corner and just point it along. I'm going to use the midpoint of the box. Don't click here, just going to use it as a marker to direct it. So we want to move it 40 units in this direction. So just type in 40 on the keyboard, and you'll see now that line that we had there has moved all the way over here, 40 units. So now we've got this bit here. So now we want to put on the 4 individual lines. So they're 6 units long each. So we'll do something similar again. So we'll draw a line along the top. We don't need to measure it now because we have the endpoints. So here we have it here. So now we can move this one down. So that has to be 6 units down. So again, I'll just use the midpoint of this line as a directional marker. So using the midpoint again, not pressing, just press 6 on the keyboard. That'll just move it down 6 units. So now we need to do that again another 2 more times. So there's different ways we can do this, but because we can actually use the copy command again just to kind of mix things up a little bit. So when we click up the copy command, so click on the line, select copy, and it's asking for our base point. So if we clicked here, we'd have to try and guess what the distance was. But we know that this distance here is 6 units. We want all these lines down here to be 6 units long. So if we actually select this corner up here, we'll actually be controlling the line 6 units down from where it is. So then we can actually use that base point just to copy it down. So it's a nice quick way. Instead of actually measuring it out, you can just use this reference distance here. So now we've got our 3 lines. So just click it down along the line, and it'll be. Then you can use the end point of the previous line as to lock it down. So nice quick way. So we have this side done, and this line here goes across. So now we could draw a new line here, but again, why would we? We'd be all efficient. So we can just click on this line. You see when these blue grips I'll try that again. Blue grips come up. Just grab one of them and just drag it across until you get the intersection. If you don't get the intersection, maybe just drag it across out here, and then you can go backwards. But try and just keep it straight. If you have the object snaps on the way we have it, it should be okay. So click that one, and then just hit escape. So now we have our title block here, so it's more or less complete. Let me just see. So the next thing we're going to do, we want to convert this like we did with the border, just to kind of make it a bit thicker to stand out a bit better. What we want to do is just convert all this to a polyline, because remember we can actually edit the thickness of a polyline. So if you hover over, see the rectangle is actually a polyline, but these internal lines are not. So first thing we want to do is just convert everything to a polyline. So if you bring your little green box, so green selection box, so give the mouse a left click, then release, and you drag the green box across. That selects everything. Now we're going to convert it to a polyline. So on the command line, just type in PE. So then the option comes up, select polyline or multiple. So we're going to select multiple. Okay, it's asking to select the objects again, so we'll just do the same thing that we did there. So once it's all kind of glowing in a highlighted blue fashion, that means they're all selected, so just hit enter. So convert, and on the command line it's saying convert lines to polylines, so we press yes for yes, obviously, or Y for yes I should say. Here we go. Good stuff. So now it's bringing us the option to we can actually start editing the polyline. So we want to change the width. So we just click on the width option, or you can type W. And according to my notes, we type in 0.5. Now, we'll see that the whole title block now has actually gotten a bit thicker, so it just looks a bit nicer. The polyline edit command is still there, so we can just press escape to cancel it. But now we have our title block there, which is looking well. So the next thing we want to do is actually going to add in the text. So we'll get rid of that now, we don't need this one. So I'll just bring in the text in here so we can see what we're going on. So bring it a bit closer so we can see it. Cancel. I need to see that. So okay, so we want to actually put in this text, but you can see on this is actually some construction lines. This will help us position the lines, position the text in the correct manner, because you don't want the text, the name, and the date, and all stuff to be kind of a bit left, a bit right. You want everything looking nice and neat, just professional looking. So I'm going to draw some construction lines. So I'm going to bring up, click on the layers tab and select construction lines. So now everything we draw now is going to be a construction line, so we can turn this on and off whenever we want. But we will just bring up the line command. So again, you can just judge this by eye to a certain degree. I don't have any specific dimensions for how wide these lines are, but we'll just see. So I'm going to zoom into the title block. I will start from this point here. You see actually even though it's a thick polyline, it's actually still snapping onto the end points. So I'm going to snap onto the end point of this part here, and it's going to draw a line kind of pointing in direction. Again, I'll use the midpoint of this line just to make sure where's the midpoint? Where are you? There we are. So I'm going to use the midpoint here just to kind of make sure we're locked in the perfectly horizontal direction. So I'm going to draw a line, I'm kind of just going to judge this by eye. So if this is 6 units long, so I'm just trying to see, maybe if we went out maybe 1.5 units. So we see now we've actually drawn a line 1.5 from the corner there, so that might be a good nice space to actually draw our text from. So we can draw now a vertical construction line. So just click on the end point and just go straight up. It doesn't matter what length it is. And then we can actually go straight down because we need a construction line for this part as well. And then just make sure it's nice and straight. So now we have a construction line here, and this will actually help us position the name and title block, or title of drawing label. So we're going to do something similar here. So again, different options. We could actually just draw the 1.5 line here and then draw a line going down again like we did over here. But as we said, we've done this already, so why don't we just copy it? So we just click on these two lines, bring up the copy command, and I'm going to actually just select the end point of the short line as our base point. So now we can just drag this over, and if we click on here, where are we going to go? We see this little, it's kind of hard to see with the polyline, but where are we going to go? So yes, see when you get a little X, that's your intersection. That's the intersection of the horizontal and the vertical line. So we'll just give that a click. So we go and just press escape. So now we have our construction line there and a construction line there, and actually they're both the exact same distance there and the same distance there. So I think that looks well. That'll keep everything horizontally well. So now we'll do something similar. We'll it's about, it's hard to say exactly what height it is up, but we'll just take an educated guess. So I'm going to go for 1.5 again. It looked well there. So from this intersection point here, I'm going to click onto the line. It's the end point of this line, and just go up And what we said, we go up 1.5 again. So now we'll see we've got a line going up 1.5, and that's our endpoint. So now we can just keep the line command active, and we just draw a line going off to the side a little bit. So that's our little short line. So we're going to have the text kind of at around this height. So in order to extend this one, we can just grab it by the blue grip. Bit of a tongue twister. So grab it by the blue grip and just drag it all the way across nice and straight. Just click anywhere right there, and now we have our horizontal line. So now we actually have a base point, because when we go to insert text, it's going to ask for an insertion point or a base point. So now we've actually, with the construction lines, we have a little base there. So we can do the same point down these levels down here. So how would we do that? So again, we'll try and use the copy command. So what will we do? I'm thinking on the fly here, so give me a second. So what we could do is, if we copy this, we could actually just draw a line there. Actually no, it's the vertical line we want, sorry. Yeah, so if we click over here, this is just going to use different commands. We can click on this little short line we drew. So click on that one, we bring up the copy command, and we specify the base point as the bottom of it. And if you bring this little line over, and just click it on the intersection point here on each of the sections. See a little X comes up. If your intersection X isn't coming up, just go into object snaps, you'll have to turn it back on again. So now you can't see it there, but if you hover over, you'll see there's actually a little small line is there. So now I'm just going to bring up the line command one more time. So just press L on the keyboard and find the end point of that little short line we just did. So it's shown by the little square, by the green square. And draw a straight line again. If you want to keep it straight, you can use the projection, or you can just press F8 on the keyboard. That'll make sure you can only draw a straight line. So it doesn't exactly matter where we're going to put it. So now we have a straight line, press escape. Now we can use the copy command again. So copy that one. And because we have our short line in each one of these, just make sure it's the little square, that's the end point. So now we actually have a section there for each one of the bits of the text to go into. So now we need one here for the title of the drawing as well. So see, we've got title of the drawing. So how will we work this out? We want to kind of keep it the same distance from the top of the line down here. So what we can do is just draw a line, bring up the line command again, click on the intersection of the title block tick line, and just draw over the construction line down to the end point. Press escape. We see I have our little short line here, so I'm going to just move this one down until we get to the end point here. So now we see when you hover over it, now that line here, if we actually put another line, this distance here is the same as this distance here. So now if we put a horizontal construction line here, it should be the same as it is above. So just again, keep things nice and neat. So press escape. I'm going to select the horizontal construction line, click on copy. Okay, I'll use the intersection point there and find the little square, that's your end point of the line. Click that, press escape, and there we go. And see, it actually lines up just perfectly with the text over here. So now when we go to insert the text in a minute, everything's going to be looking nice and nicely aligned. So again, just a bit of, looks professional, looks nice. So yeah, so now we're going to add the text below using the construction line. So we've done that. So I'm just reading the notes here. So we'll add the text. So there's different ways we can do text. I mean, you remember did them a few weeks in the revision video. So in the text command up here, click on the text. We're going to use single line text for this case. So again, always follow the command line, specify your start point. So in this case, I'm going to stick in here, use the intersection of the construction lines as our start point. So give it a click. Now it's asking us for a text height. I think 2.5 should be okay. So let's type it again just to show you how to do it. So 2.5. Rotation angle is going to be 0 because we don't want the text rotated. And you see it's up here ready to go. So now it's going to be just the word name. And there we go. So then we have, now press escape. Now I've actually just made a mistake, but it's okay, easily fixed. The text should be on the text layer. So the construction, I've just drawn on, I didn't change the layer, so I'm actually drawing that on the construction layer. So what I do is we're going to just select the text, come up to our layer properties and just go down and select the word text. There we go, and hit escape, and you'll see now it actually the text here is on the text layer. So back up to construction layer and just then just double click on the text again, or click on the text again, just so now when we go to insert text, it'll be on the correct layer, we won't have to change it. So now again, the thing we can do, we can use the single line text to insert text here, 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 and here, but again, just to show you a different way, and since the copy command is very handy, I'm going to hopefully drive it home. So we're going to select the text, so bring up the copy command, click on the text, and then once you've selected that, just hit enter. Now it's asking us on the command line to specify a base point, so we're going to use the construction line point here as the base point. So now we can actually just click into each one of the boxes. You might have to turn off your Ortho command by pressing F8 just to make things a bit easier, so don't click it somewhere. So we click into each one of these boxes. There we go, and press escape. So now obviously that doesn't look correct because it has the word name everywhere, but now we can actually just double click on the text, and we don't have to change the settings because the settings are already there because we copied it. So now we're going to retype it. So title of drawing, and then just click out of it. And do the same for the other ones. So we'll just click into this one. This is going to be date. Click into this guy here. It's going to be scale. This one here is going to be sheet size. And this one here is going to be sheet number. And just click out of it. So now we've got a perfectly acceptable looking construction or title block. Now I'm just looking at it here. One thing we might need again is actually just a construction line to show where we're actually going to put the text when we're going to insert the title of the drawing. Then we might need another construction line. So what I might do is just press escape to get out of the text command. I might extend this line across, so then we have actually a baseline for the actual title of the drawing we have to put it in. So just click on the line here by the grip and drag it across. Again, you might want to press Ortho on, so F8, just to make sure we have a nice straight line. Just click anywhere right here, press escape. So now we have actually an intersection point for the title of the drawing text. Okay, so what we're going to do, just checking my notes, sorry, this now. So we're going to convert it to a block and name it block 02 title block. Okay, so we will, okay, to select everything, we will just select the whole. Actually, before we do that, we'll just go back up here and select our layer 0, because when you're creating a block, we always want to do it on layer 0. So now just select everything here, and we are going to convert it to block, or convert it to a block. So we're just going to type the word block on the keyboard. Let's bring up the screen here. So we're going to call this one. What are we going to call this one? BLK. So yeah, we'll do all capital letters. BLK 02 -TITLE underscore BLOCK. Base point specify on screen. So we're going to pick a point. So we want to pick the bottom right corner. We specify the objects on screen because you can see a little preview of it there. Allow exploding, and just click OK. And we want to redefine. That is perfectly fine. It's asking me to redefine it because I probably have the same file on my computer already, because I've done this a few times just practicing. So, but if it doesn't show for you, just continue. So I'll redefine. So now when we hover over, you'll see it's all one title block. So now we're going to look at, just check the notes. So now we can just delete this. So now what we can do is we actually save this drawing as, it's currently, we're still working on our template. What I want to do now is actually save this as a drawing file. So, and then go to your folder, actually just change the settings. So it's by default we're on DWT, but we want to actually change it to DWG. And then you want to find a folder where you've been saving everything so far. So I've been doing mine in my documents folder in AutoCAD. So we have all this other stuff here. And we're going to call this BOR-TB. So it's basically border title block. So I have a one from earlier on that I did, because again it was just a practice one. So I'm just going to redo it now. I'm going to save it over. So now you see this actually has changed. So we're not actually on the template anymore. We're on a border title block. Okay. So now we're going to define some attributes. So that's just basically putting in the text for the title block. Okay, so first thing we need to do, since we're going to explode the title block again, just select the board, select your title block, press X on the keyboard and hit enter. So that kind of just breaks it up again into individual pieces. So now we're going to bring up the attributes command. So just type in ATT on the keyboard, and it brings up this one here. So this actually we're going to add tags and labels. The whole point of this is when we actually go to insert a title block in your drawings in the future, the moment you insert the title block, it'll automatically ask you to insert the name, title of the drawing, scale, sheet, size and all this. So it'll ask you to do the information at the start so you can put it in, instead of actually having to go in and put it on layers and text. So it's just kind of the way it's done. So there is the first one. We'll just do a practice one first. So the first one we're going to do, the tag is going to be, so there's in capital letters, your underscore name. We don't need a prompt for this one. And default value is going to be, again, this is going to be small case, so first name space last name. So you can have a space in this section here, but in the tag you can't have space. That's why you have the underscore. That's just AutoCAD being slightly awkward, but it is what it is. And the rest settings are okay, so click OK. So now you'll see we've actually got a little tag for your name. Now, okay, what we should have done, we should have actually had a construction line somewhere here just in front of the text, but we'll just judge it by eye. So, roughly position it kind of by eye, just somewhere, using this construction line as a kind of the horizontal area to put it, or the horizontal place to put it. So just click on the construction line somewhere like that, and you'll see now we've got a tag your name. And let me just check the other one. So yeah, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to put in tags for each one of the other ones. So bring up ATT again. So ATT on the keyboard, hit enter. So the next thing is going to be, again, in the tag is going to be drawing underscore title title. And then the prompt, we're going to have a prompt in this one. So it's enter title of drawing. And the default value is going to leave that one blank this time. Click OK. And again, just use your eye just to kind of position it about the same as here. Actually, we should put this down here because if it's a long title, it'll end up going over this side. So just click on the text and I'll just move it down. So just use the construction line as your base. I'll have to turn off my ortho. And we can click it down there. So now drawing title should be there. So again, ATT again, we're going to add a tag and a label for the other 4 sections. So the tag, next one is going to be, so it has to be, yes, this has to be capital date underscore capital drawn. And the prompt here is going to be, sorry, date drawn, and then we'll just put in the format. So this is kind of just to help us know. You'll see what I mean, how it works in a second when we go to insert it. And we know default, so click OK. So this is going to go on the date, so just going to fit it in there. So again, we're going to do the same for scale. So ATT again. Tag for scale is obviously going to be scale. And the prompt is going to be drawing scale. Click OK. And you can click there. And then we'll do the same for sheet size and sheet number again. So ATT. So sorry, it's capital letters just to kind of keep it consistent. Size, and then prompt is going to be sheet size. So obviously, yeah, that's okay. So let's put it somewhere about the same distance. And the last one is going to be sheet number. Oh, actually, yeah, no, sorry, don't mind me. I'm talking to myself, I'm thinking ahead. So the last one is going to be sheet underscore NO. And that's going to be sheet number X of Y. And keep the default blank. And just bring this down here and just position it along the construction line. So now we have a nice looking title block. So these are our prompts and our tags for when we go to put these in. So once all the attributes have been assigned and positioned correctly, we can convert it to a title block back into a block, and then just recall it the title block 02 again. So, and then if you're probably going to be asked to redefine it because you already have a block saved with those numbers, but now we're going to resave it with this extra labels on it. So let me just check something. Okay, so we'll convert this to a title block. We can leave the construction lines there because we can turn them off. Even when it's a block, we can actually turn them off. So just select the whole lot again, type in the word block on your keyboard, and again we're going to call it what we did last time. So BLK02-TITLE underscore BLOCK. Pick point bottom right corner as last time. Objects are there on screen, allow exploding, click OK. So block definition has changed. You want to redefine it? Yes, we do. Click OK. So now you see actually, because we've turned in a block of that, it's going to actually, it's kind of inserting itself into the drawing. So it's asking us to insert this information. These are what the tags are for in your attributes. So when we go to insert this block later on, it'll actually, it'll ask us this correct, like it'll ask us to put this information automatically. So now I'm just seeing if I made a mistake somewhere. No, I may have made a little error, but sure. I think that these two should be the other way around, but if you followed me, yours will probably look the same. So let me just double check this. Oh, okay, well it is what it is. It's fine, I'm not going to argue too much over it. So okay, so what we do next is we are going to then write this block. So that's using the W block command, so WBLOCK. So then we're going to select the block. So it's the BL, this one here. And again, make sure it's saved in the same folder. By default, mine's going in there, so it's in the AutoCAD files where my template is. And it's going to be saved as a DWG. So we're going to click OK. And there we go. So now just click on your little save icon up here. So now, it might scare you doing the next bit, but if you select everything and hit delete, now, that's it. Now, don't actually delete it. That's just showing you basically, because we've actually that stuff saved onto the computer in the blocks folder on your computer, they're actually going to be there anyway, but just show it doesn't matter. So if you press Control Z, that'll just bring them back, because we're actually going to just leave these drawn here. But in other drawings now, it's going to be saved, so we can actually just insert them whenever we want, but we leave this drawing as it is. So just press Control Z just to bring it back, and just click the save icon, and then we will close the file. So close the file, bring it back here, and then let's go back to your template. So first name, last name, my template. And again, the borders here, we don't want the border here anymore because that's actually a separate block. So we just select the border and hit delete, and then click on the save icon. So now our template is actually just a blank template, the A4 layout. So, but now actually, because those blocks are actually saved on our file, on our drawing, we should be able to insert them whenever we want. So just to give you a quick example, so if you click on the A4 layout, you don't have to follow this for a second. Okay, I did say A4. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we can actually just insert those blocks. So if you've got your page set up with this, you'll see this little kind of graph. This is actually this is called a viewport. We'll discuss this in another video. So if you double click into here, you'll see it actually goes kind of dark block. This a dark outline. This is actually a window into model space. Remember, this is paper space here. It's a print preview, and this is model space where we draw. So this is a window into it. So just double click out of it because we don't need it now. Actually, you can just click on it and just press delete because we don't want it at the moment. So now we want to insert our border in a title block. So what we can do is, if you go to, so you're in the home tab, see the block section, click on insert. You see now our border and our title block are actually there, and waiting to be used. So we can click on border, and we can just position it down here because that's, remember, that was our point where we're going to use it. So now we've got a nice border, and we can select title block. No, that's the wrong one, sorry. Hopefully yours looks a bit better. Yeah, sorry, so in the insert, I'm just going to find my title block. That's an old title block I did that was wrong. So if your blocks aren't showing up here, just go from blocks from library and then go to where you saved them on your computer. So they're in my AutoCAD file. The block 02 title block, give that a click open. And yeah, don't worry about all this, so we click X out of that one. Oh, where'd it go? Try that again. Blocks from library. Okay, yeah, here we are. So insertion options, yeah, here we are. So it's just showing up here. So let's give this a click. Redefine block, that's fine. And now see it's kind of being dragged in by its base point. So just stick it down there. And now it's asking us for this information. We can put it in later, doesn't matter. Then just click OK. And just X out of that. So now we have basically on our A4 layout an A4 border and A4 title block. And if you go up here, you can click and turn off the construction lines, and that'll get rid of those pink lines. So we can turn them on and off if you need them, but they're turned off. So you can see now we have a perfectly good template, and now we have a perfectly good title block and border on it. So again, just a speed thing, you can make things easier. Just click on the save icon, and there we go. We're good to go. So all your drawings you do from now on, you can actually use this template, and we can use this. We'll have a ready-made title block and border for you to go. So hopefully that wasn't too much. It's a half an hour long video, half an hour for this one and half an hour for the border. So hopefully you were able to follow along. And if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, I'll do my best to answer. So hopefully it works out okay. Any questions, emails, send me a message, whatever you want to do. Okay, thanks a million.